Hey guys, so Apple today has officially released the second beta for iOS 26.1. Developer Beta 2 is available as of today. Now, I have to say, I feel like Apple is still trying to find the perfect balance for liquid glass. And iOS 26.1 Developer Beta 2, I think, actually builds upon that because Apple has added some interesting changes to the OS and also retained some of the liquid glass elements, bringing them back. I wanted to share everything with you guys in today's video and sort of share with you guys what's new versus beta 1. Now, I do have this iPhone running iOS 26.1 beta 1 and beta 2 on this device in order to compare the changes here to sort of show you guys what's new within the second beta. Now, aside from iOS 26.1 beta 2, Apple also released iPadOS, macOS, watchOS, HomeOS, tvOS, and of course visionOS 26.1, Developer Beta 2, all available as of today to registered developers. Now, if you're a public beta tester, you'll most likely be able to download this within the next 24 to 48 hours. I'll keep you guys posted. Make sure you follow me on social media for more details on that. Now, the file size for this download here, coming from beta 1 to beta 2 with iOS 26.1, you see here nearly 2 gigs on this iPhone 17 Pro Max. Now, I want to talk about the current build number because I know a lot of you guys are asking, when will Apple release this software update? You see there the build number ends on the letter E. Typically, that means we still have about 3 more betas, the release candidate, and then an official release should be available sometime towards the end of the month, perhaps beginning of November, so late October, beginning of November. Either way, let's talk about what's new within the latest iOS 26.1 Developer Beta 2. All right, so as I mentioned, Beta 1 here on the right and Beta 2 on the left. Now, let me show you some of the key differences here. So let's launch the Photos application. I feel like this is one of the things that Apple has changed the most. And most users actually had issues with some of the controls and visibility with controls inside of the Photos app. And I think Apple has finally cracked the actual design for the Photos app. Now, let me show you. So in Beta 1, if you tap on an image, it goes directly to full screen. As you see here, you have your controls at the bottom of the screen and on the top of the screen, as you can see right there. Now, some users had difficulty seeing these controls in Beta 1 for iOS 26 and iOS 26.1. Now, in iOS 26.1 Beta 2, let me show you. If I tap an image, you see here automatically you sort of get a preview window for the image, and around your actual image you get your controls with full liquid glass integration, which allows Apple to use liquid glass and at the same time actually change the UI behavior in order to suit some of those issues with visibility for liquid glass. So take a look right there. So let me show you that again. If I tap on both images right there, full screen, all your controls, preview window, and your controls at the bottom of the screen and top of the screen, and then you can go ahead and share, like, edit, or whatever. I think this is the proper way to present images with the liquid glass design, as the darker background can help with visibility in comparison to what you see here, especially with lighter colors. It was hard to see for some users. Now, not only that, but with Beta 1, you may remember that I talked about Apple got rid of some of the liquid glass elements for widgets, home screen, and as well as some of the elements in the Photos app. So the one example that I show you was in here under this right here where you see the blue text. If we swipe down, you couldn't see the blue text behind that bubble there on the bottom of the screen. You see there, you cannot see that blue text. This is Beta 1. Now let me show you what Apple has done with Beta 2, bringing back that liquid glass, which I'm happy to report for those of you that love it. You see here, if we swipe down, you can actually see the blue text now, and we have liquid glass back right there on those elements for the Photos application on iOS 26.1 Beta 2. Now, you can also notice this with widgets. So, for example, if I go on the home screen here and I go to add a widget, for example, and I've noticed you can really see this with the actual battery widget. So, let's tap into the battery widgets. Do you notice the difference right away? So take a look here. Frosted glass battery widget, full on liquid glass here on the left. Same thing for the medium size, same thing for the large. And if you add it to the home screen, you can definitely notice the difference there with Beta 2 getting back that liquid glass design, which honestly I really like. And here in Beta 1, you see we have frosted glass. So Apple is trying to find the perfect balance where to apply liquid glass, because if you go into edit mode, you also notice that Apple did retain the delete icon right there for the home screen. It's still frosted. So Apple changed the behavior inside of Photos and other elements of liquid glass where they thought it might be needed. And you see here on the home screen, since I guess they can't really get around around it, we still have the frosted glass for the delete button here on the icons for the home screen. So yeah, Apple is looking for the perfect balance, and I think iOS 26.1 Beta 2 is a path into the right direction. Now, I've also noticed that Apple has made some changes inside of the settings application. So for example, if we go under display and brightness, you may remember I talked about this. We now finally have iOS 26 wallpapers to be represented here for this section. So if we go into beta 1 here, for example, you see that we had iOS 18. So now iOS 26 wallpapers properly represented here within the latest beta for iOS 26.1 beta 2. Now I've also noticed that we have some changes happening under the Generals tab. So if we go into the Generals tab here, I'm not sure if I like these changes, but you see here the icon has been relocated, minor refinements and changes happening here. So again, Apple is still working on liquid glass, trying to refine the software, change some of the behavior in order to help with some of the visibility issues that some users have on the home screen and on the lock screen of your iPhone. So far, these are some of the liquid glass changes that I've noticed within the second beta, and I think it's the correct move here. Now, for those of you asking about the hypertension notifications under health, Apple did remove those temporarily with the first beta, but iOS 26.1 beta 2 brings the hypertension notifications back to Apple Watch and the health application on iOS 26.1. Again, the second beta finally brings those back. I know many users, including myself, were looking forward to that, and it is back within this latest beta. So a lot of good news happening here. Now, this one's really cool. So if you add a timer here on the lock screen, you see there, once the timer expires, Apple adds a slide to stop onto the timer with liquid glass elements. You see there, slide to stop. I think that's pretty cool. I like this a lot. And now you can just slide like so, and or repeat that timer on your iPhone. Now, I've also noticed that the dock looks a little bit different. And now hopefully the camera will do it justice, and you might have to see this in person to actually appreciate it. But the dock also got a little more liquid glass this time around with iOS 26.1 beta 2. So beta 2 here on the left, look at the dock there, the wallpaper blending through. Look at beta 1, you see there a little more of a frosted glass. So the dock, again, a lot harder to sort of show you this over the camera, but yeah, also getting a little more liquid glass here as well. So minor refinements across the board. Again, Apple is still just refining iOS 26 with 26.1. Keep in mind the second beta is now available 2 weeks after the first beta, which means we still have several betas to go. So I think next week we'll get another beta, and if Apple does release another beta next week, that means that we're switching to a weekly release schedule. I'll keep you guys posted. Make sure to subscribe and stay tuned for more. Now, as I notice any additional new features and changes, I'll be sure to follow up with another video for you guys, so stay tuned here to the channel. Thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoy the video, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.